Why your first apartment should not be your dream apartment. A 40-minute adulting and real-life skills guide. There's a moment almost everyone remembers. It doesn't happen on move-in day. It happens right before everything changes. The first time the keys touch your palm. They're heavier than you expected. Cool, solid, real. You stand there a second longer than necessary. Not because you're unsure, but because you want to feel it. You turn them slowly. Listen to the sound. Metal against metal. This is it. Your place. Your space. Your rules. Your dream. No roommates, no parents, no one telling you what you can or can't do. Just freedom. Or at least, that's what it feels like in that moment. But here's the part nobody says while you're smiling at those keys. Those keys don't just open a door. They open responsibility. They unlock bills that don't care how tired you are, decisions that don't pause for excitement, consequences that don't announce themselves loudly, and dreams. Dreams feel very different once responsibility moves in with you. Because the truth is, your first apartment isn't just where you live. It's where you learn. And if you choose it wrong, the lesson can be expensive. Long before you ever step into an apartment for a tour, long before you check the rent or ask about the water pressure, the dream is already there. It's been building for a while, quietly. It comes from scrolling late at night, from perfectly staged photos on social media, from movies where moving out looks clean, exciting, and effortless. From watching people your age post keys, balconies, and new chapter captions. Without realizing it, you don't just picture an apartment, you picture a version of yourself. A calmer version, a more put-together version, a version that finally feels like an adult. You imagine waking up in that space and thinking, okay, now life makes sense. You imagine the apartment fixing the confusion, the stress, the feeling of being behind. And because that image feels so good, so convincing, you don't question it. You don't ask if the apartment matches your income, or your habits, or your current stage of life. You assume the apartment will create stability. But here's the quiet truth no one tells you. Apartments don't create stability. They reveal it. They don't organize your life. They expose how organized you already are. They don't calm chaos. They amplify it. Your first apartment doesn't turn you into an adult. It simply shows you, very clearly, whether you were ready to live like one. Your first apartment carries a kind of pressure that most people don't realize until they're already inside it. It's not just a place to sleep. It starts to feel like proof. Proof that you're grown. Proof that you're doing something right. Proof that you didn't get left behind while everyone else moved forward. And that's where the danger starts. Because once something becomes proof, you stop judging it the way you normally would. You stop asking calm, practical questions. You don't pause to ask, can I actually afford this without stressing every month? Can I pay for this and still breathe? Will this still feel okay when the excitement wears off? Instead, your questions quietly change. You start asking things like, does this look like success? Does this match the life I imagine for myself? Will people take me seriously if they see this? And that shift matters, because decisions made to impress, even subconsciously, are almost always more expensive than decisions made to protect your peace. Looks come with a price tag, and the bill doesn't arrive all at once. It shows up slowly, every single month. Let me tell you about someone named David. David didn't rush moving out. He waited, watched, saved. He told himself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So he didn't look for just an apartment. He was looking for the apartment. The kind you imagine when you close your eyes. A modern building, great location, big windows that let the light in, clean finishes, quiet hallways, The kind of place that looks good in photos. It cost more than he planned, but he told himself something a lot of us tell ourselves. I'll make it work. And at first, he did. The first month felt amazing. Every morning felt like a small victory. Every night felt peaceful. Friends came over. Pictures were taken. The dream felt real. But then, life started showing up. Work got busier. Not exciting busy, tiring busy. Bills started stacking up. Rent, utilities, internet, things he never really thought about before. Groceries cost more than he expected. Eating out became a habit. Cooking started to feel like effort instead of fun. And slowly, friends stopped visiting as often. Not because they didn't care, but because life gets busy for everyone. The apartment stayed exactly the same. Same big windows, same clean finishes, same perfect location. But David changed. The excitement faded. The pressure grew. Rent day stopped feeling normal. It started feeling heavy. And that's when it clicked for him. The apartment didn't become a problem. Trying to maintain the dream did. What once felt like freedom started feeling like something he had to constantly keep up with. And that's the part most people don't talk about. Dream apartments don't fail you. They quietly demand more from you than you're ready to give. Here's the thing about dream apartments. They assume something that almost never happens in real life. They assume that every single month will be perfect, that your income will always land on time, that your bills will never surprise you, that groceries, utilities, and rent will all behave exactly how you planned, that your energy, your focus, your patience, your motivation will never dip. But here's the reality. Life isn't smooth. Some months are loud. The air conditioner breaks. The neighbor's music doesn't stop. The plumbing has issues you didn't budget for. Some months are heavy. Your job demands more hours. You feel exhausted. You skip cooking. You order more food. Every small expense starts adding up faster than you realized. And some months are just unexpectedly expensive. Your car needs a repair. Your laptop dies. Your bills suddenly jump for no clear reason. A dream apartment, at least in the Instagram sense, doesn't know how to handle these months. It doesn't soften the blows. It doesn't cushion mistakes. It doesn't give you space to breathe. Your first apartment should absorb these months, not punish you for them. It should let you live, learn, and adjust. It should protect your budget, your sleep, and your sanity. Because the first apartment isn't about looking perfect. It's about staying afloat while you figure out what adulthood really feels like. There's a moment. The kind of moment that sneaks up on you and suddenly changes everything. It's not the first rent payment. It's not the deposit. It's not even the move-in costs. It's smaller than that. A light bulb burns out. A faucet starts dripping. Or worse, the water pressure drops. The internet decides today is the day it won't work. And all of a sudden, you're sitting at your kitchen table at midnight, calculator out, phone in hand, trying to figure out how to make everything fit. Because here's what nobody really tells you. The apartment isn't expensive because of rent alone. It's expensive because it leaves no room. No room for mistakes. No room for surprise bills. No room for the unexpected things that life throws at you. And that's when the dream starts to feel heavy. Not because the apartment is bad, but because freedom comes with its own weight. It's not just a place to live. It's a place where your choices meet reality. And if you're not prepared, reality is more expensive than you imagined. A modest apartment. It teaches you lessons that no book, no friend, no YouTube video ever could. It shows you how often you actually cook. Not the Instagram, look at my perfect meal cooking, but real cooking. The kind where you're exhausted after work and wonder if cereal counts as dinner. It shows you how tired you really get. Because freedom isn't just about doing what you want. It's about realizing how much energy life demands from you. From paying bills to walking to the laundry room, to remembering to buy toilet paper before you run out. It shows you how much silence you need, A quiet apartment isn't just nice, it's necessary. You'll discover whether you can handle being alone with your thoughts, or if you crave the hum of life around you. It shows you how much noise you can tolerate. A neighbor who mows at 6 a.m., street traffic that doesn't care about your alarm clock, dogs that bark for no reason at 3 a.m. You learn what drives you crazy and what you can live with. Dream apartments skip all of this. They assume you already know yourself, that you already understand what you need, that you already know how to manage real life. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Most people don't. And that's okay. That's exactly why the first apartment isn't supposed to be a dream. It's supposed to be your teacher, your place to learn, to fail a little, and to figure out what actually works for you. Because once you know yourself, then, and only then, can your dream apartment actually feel like a home. Here's something nobody really warns you about. Expensive apartments? They look amazing. Shiny counters, big windows, trendy lights, Instagram-ready corners. But here's the catch. All that beauty comes with invisible stress. You start thinking, I have to keep this looking nice. I can't let it get messy. You worry about inviting friends over. Will they like it? Will it look cheap if I don't have the right furniture? You find yourself constantly thinking about how to make it feel worth it, like you paid for the dream, so you have to live like it every single day. And that's exhausting. Because you don't just live there, you manage it. Every day, in small ways, you're making decisions to maintain the image, the vibe, the expectation. And here's the sneaky part. Management doesn't feel like work at first. It creeps in quietly. A little mental energy here, a little worry there, until you realize by the end of the week, you're drained. Your first apartment should do the opposite. It should give you energy. It should feel like a safe base, a place to recharge after a long day, not a place that silently pulls from your time, your attention, your patience. Because when your apartment demands energy instead of giving it back, you're no longer living, you're surviving. And surviving in your first apartment? That's not the dream anyone should chase. Here's something most people don't realize right away. Freedom isn't about space. It's not about having a giant living room or a kitchen that looks like it belongs in a magazine. Freedom is about options. The ability to make choices without feeling trapped. The ability to leave a job if it's not working out. The ability to save money instead of scraping by. The ability to rest without worrying about what's waiting in your mailbox tomorrow. When your rent is low enough that you can breathe, life starts to feel possible. You can plan your week without panic. You can make decisions without constantly checking your bank balance. But when rent is high, every little thing feels heavier. Groceries, gas, that unexpected doctor's bill. Even a coffee with a friend suddenly feels like a big decision. High-end dream apartments? Most of the time, they trade freedom for image. They give you a place that looks amazing in photos, but that shine comes at a cost that tightens your budget, your choices, and even your sleep. And here's the truth. That trade between looking good and staying flexible is rarely worth it when you're just starting out. Your first apartment should give you room to breathe, not room to stress. Because early in adulting, freedom is the most valuable luxury you can afford. Here's something subtle, but incredibly powerful. It starts quietly, almost without you noticing. People begin to say things like, "This is who I am now. This is my space, my vibe, my life." And that's when the trap sneaks in. When your sense of identity, who you think you are, attaches itself to your apartment, every little adjustment starts to feel like failure. The sink is leaking? You feel like you chose wrong. The rent feels tight? You start questioning yourself. The apartment isn't exactly what you imagined? Suddenly, it feels like you aren't enough. Even when making adjustments is completely normal, healthy even, it can feel like a personal defeat. That's why your first apartment should never be about defining you. It's not about the decor, the location, the view, or even the dream you've pinned to Pinterest. Your first apartment's only real job is to support you, to give you a safe space where you can figure out who you are, where you can make mistakes without breaking everything, where you can grow, experiment, and learn. before the stakes get too high. It's not the stage for perfection. It's the playground for your adulthood. Your identity? That comes from the choices you make inside it, not the walls themselves. Nobody talks about this enough. Those big, beautiful apartments you've been dreaming about? The ones with high ceilings, glossy floors, and picture-perfect windows? They can feel empty, especially at first. Because when the excitement of moving in fades, the quiet sets in. Not just a little quiet, the kind of silence that presses against you, that makes every small sound in the apartment feel louder than it really is. And here's the thing about expensive apartments. They don't just cost money, they cost freedom. The freedom to relax without worrying about every single bill, every unexpected expense, every little emergency. When the numbers are tight, loneliness isn't just loneliness anymore. It quietly morphs into anxiety. That feeling in your chest that makes it hard to sit still, that keeps your mind spinning about what you should be doing or how you're going to pay for the next thing that breaks. Because there's no margin, no breathing room, no soft landing. A dream apartment without room to breathe can quickly stop feeling like a dream at all. It becomes a pressure cooker, a reminder that excitement alone doesn't pay the rent. And that's why your first apartment, your very first one, shouldn't be your dream apartment. It should be the apartment that teaches you how to live, the one that gives you room to learn, room to grow, and yes, room to breathe. Your first apartment, it's not meant to be permanent. It's a phase, a chapter in your story. A learning space, really, somewhere you figure things out before life gets more complicated. Dream apartments, they're tempting, they're shiny, Instagram-worthy. They make you feel like you've arrived. But here's the problem. They tempt you to settle too early, to stop growing, to stop experimenting, to stop making mistakes you can actually recover from. Growth, real growth, doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you move, when you leave what's safe, when you test your limits, even in a small, cramped, imperfect apartment. Your first apartment is your practice field. It's the place where you learn to pay bills, survive utility spikes, handle roommates, and navigate the unexpected. And if you pick the dream apartment first, you skip all that practice. You skip the lessons. And trust me, life always finds a way to teach them later, usually at a higher cost. There's something quietly powerful about saying to yourself, I can handle this. Not barely, not with that tight, nervous kind of breathing where you're constantly wondering if you'll make it, but comfortably, calmly, with space to think. That's the feeling everyone wants when they move into their first apartment. And here's the thing, that confidence, it doesn't come from marble countertops. It doesn't come from a balcony with a view or a walk-in closet bigger than your bedroom at home. It doesn't come from dreaming big and moving straight into what looks perfect on Instagram. It comes from control. Control over your bills, control over your time, control over your decisions, big and small. It comes from knowing that if something breaks or a bill jumps higher than expected, you have room to deal with it. It comes from building a life where your apartment supports you, not drains you. And that's the difference between surviving your first apartment and thriving in it. Because you can have the fanciest apartment in the city, but if you're stretched too thin, every little problem feels huge. And trust me, problems will show up. They always do. So before you fall in love with a dream apartment, ask yourself, am I moving into a place I can handle? Or am I moving into a place that will handle me? You've probably heard people say it before. Struggle builds character. And yeah, there's some truth in that. But here's the thing. Sometimes struggle doesn't build character at all. Sometimes it just builds exhaustion. It wears you down slowly. Not in a dramatic, cinematic way, but in a quiet, nagging, I can't keep up kind of way. Your first apartment shouldn't do that to you. It shouldn't test your limits. It should help you find your limits safely. It should be the place where you figure out, how much space do I really need? How much money can I actually spend without panicking? How do I keep some peace of mind at the end of the day? Enough. Enough is such an underrated word. It's not flashy. It's not Instagram-worthy. It doesn't get likes or approval. But it works. Dream apartments? They promise more. More space, more style, more freedom. But more often brings complications. Suddenly, you have more bills, more responsibilities, more things to worry about. And instead of enjoying independence, you're just tired. So here's what I want you to hear. Your first apartment doesn't need to be a dream. It needs to be your safe experiment in independence, a place where you learn without feeling like life is punching you in the gut every week. Because when your first apartment teaches you slowly, carefully, and kindly, that's when you actually grow, not when it breaks you. And then, one day, something shifts. You wake up and life feels different. Rent doesn't feel like a looming shadow anymore. Bills don't make your chest tighten the way they used to. Even the unexpected little expenses don't throw you off as much. Life feels a little predictable, manageable, comfortable enough. It's in that moment that the dream apartment finally makes sense, not as a gamble, not as a test, but as a reward. A reward for surviving the early struggles. A reward for learning the rhythms of bills, groceries, and all the tiny, invisible responsibilities that come with living on your own. Because here's the truth your younger self wouldn't understand. You don't deserve a luxury apartment until you can live peacefully in a small, imperfect one. Until you've learned to keep your calm when the water bill spikes, when the heat goes out, or when you realize the washing machine only works half the time. Only then does the dream apartment stop being dangerous. Only then does it feel earned. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your first apartment shouldn't be your dream apartment. I know what you're thinking, but isn't that the goal? The perfect place I've imagined forever? And yes, dreaming is wonderful, but the reality is different. Your first apartment should be your safe place, a place to learn without the stakes being too high. It's where mistakes are allowed, where a burnt toast, a leaking sink, or a forgotten bill won't destroy your life. Where you can grow without feeling crushed by pressure. It's where peace is possible. Where you can cook in your own kitchen and maybe burn a few eggs without worrying you've ruined your entire life. Think about it like this. Dreams are sweeter when you don't have to survive them. When you're not juggling 10 problems at once, trying to hold everything together in a place that looks perfect but doesn't support you. Start where life can hold you. Where the walls may not be marble, the floors may not be hardwood, and the kitchen might be small, but where you can breathe, learn, and build confidence. And here's the best part. The dream apartment? It's still out there, waiting. Waiting for the day when you've learned enough, saved enough, and can finally enjoy it without fear. So don't rush toward perfection. Don't choose style over stability. Choose a place where mistakes are okay, because that's the place where you'll actually grow into the adult you're trying to become.